Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, the 20th of November. Going to be highlighting books that are coming out next Wednesday, the 27th. This will give you kind of an early look at some of the books that are coming out to make sure that you have them on your pull list. Kind of highlight the books that I'm looking at, that I'm interested in. I got this in the mail today, Heathen #2. Really love this series. I had the second printing of #2. Didn't have the first print, so I found a pretty good deal on eBay, so I picked that up. These are very, very low print run books. I know this because there's probably 4 or 5 online stores that I frequent, and these books are never for sale on those online sites. If you go on Midtown, for instance, there'll be the latest issues, like the last 2 issues, and then there's a couple second printings available for maybe #4 or #5. But no first printings. I think through the first 4 issues, you're not going to find any first printings unless you go on eBay. So, this book normally sells. I've been watching it for a while. It's consistently sold between $10 and $15. I got it around $8, so it was a pretty good deal. So basically cover price plus shipping, so it's not a bad deal. Just a cool looking cover. I really love the series. I've got a few more copies coming in the next few days, so I'm sure in the next several videos I'll be showing other Heathen copies that I picked up, first prints, some of them second prints, and couple. I think there's one or two of them are incentive covers, like a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 5 type of incentive cover. But these are really tough books to find. I've been to a lot of comic book shops. They never have any back issues of this book. They sold out when they came out, and most of the shops did not order very heavy on this. So I think the print run on this book is pretty damn low. I'm going to say it's less than a couple thousand per issue. So this is going to be developed. They did announce that it is being developed into a TV show, I believe. If I got that right, it's either a movie or a TV show. So I got about a 50% chance of being right there. I know it is being developed. So that move, the first issue, #1, it sells consistently between $20 and $25. Probably a high of 35 to a low of maybe 20. So there has been some previous heat on this book, and I think this book's going to get hotter and hotter, especially when people start to realize how low the print run is and how difficult it is to track down issues. That's always a good sign for me, is when I have a hard time actually buying certain issues of a book. Then I know the print run is really low. So this is a book you may want to keep on your radar, Heathen. All right, so let's jump into it. Next Wednesday, we'll start off here with Dark Horse. You zoom in a little bit. We got, as far as books I'm picking up, I think the only one I'm getting from Dark Horse is Machine Gun Wizards #4. I did pre-order that Al Capone cover. Just think it's awesome. I mean, what's not to like about this cover? Really, really cool cover by Gabriel Walta. Really nice. Probably a traced, it's probably a traced drawing of Capone, and then with the effects on it. So I'm pretty sure that's a traced photo. Probably took a photo and traced it. At least that's what I would do if I was going to have to draw this cover. So it looks like a typical photo I've seen of Al Capone before, but it's a cool looking cover. And it's, I got to say, I haven't read any of the issues. I'm a little behind in my reading. I'm only on the B's right now, so I've got a long way to go to get down to Machine Gun Wizards. But I've heard some good things about it. I'm at least committed through the first 4 issues. I need to catch up. So if it's not good, I want to drop it right away. But the cover's nice anyways. So that's the only book I'm really picking up. There is a Mike Mignola book here, Witchfinder: Reign of Darkness. That could be worth grabbing. Looks like it's Sir Edward Grey takes on London's most famous serial killer, but he's the only one who thinks Jack the Ripper's murders have an occult purpose. So that could be a good book. Not a huge fan of Mignola's artwork, but cover's okay. So that may be one to take note of. I notice a lot of the Mignola books, unless it's early Hellboy, don't really do much. So I wouldn't spec on it, that's for sure. But, it could be a good read. So that's it for Dark Horse. Moving on to DC. Action Comics 217. Nice Perillo cover. I think that's the only one I believe I pre-ordered that in advance. 1017. Just an awesome looking Perillo cover. Anytime you can get a Perillo cover for about cover price, I think you can't go wrong with that. It's a nice cardstock cover. Yeah, way better than, first of all, the A cover is by John Romita Jr., so that's one good reason for me not to buy the A cover. I don't like Romita's artwork at all, so definitely the B cover is the way to go there. Basket Full of Heads #2. I read the first issue, was really, really good. You got two nice covers. I don't think either one of them is a sloucher. A cover's really nice. The name on the artist is Reiko Murakami. I probably destroyed that. I have a hard time pronouncing names. The B cover's nice as well. That is a cardstock cover. Clayton Crane. Can't go wrong with a Clayton Crane cover, in my opinion. So I think picking up both of those is warranted. Not buying Batgirl. Batman Beyond, I think it's worth picking up at least the A cover. I like Lee Week's artwork quite a bit. That's just a cool looking cover. And it's all a matter of opinion. I think that's a better cover than this one. The Maniple cover, I don't really care for that cover, but I think the way to go is with the A cover, in my opinion. A covers tend to do better long term anyways, investment wise. Batman Creature of the Night #4. Has it been a long time? I thought I had collected this before, but man, there must be like a 6-month or 8-month spread between issue 3 and 4, because I could have sworn I collected that like last year. So I don't know what happened with Kurt Busiek and John Paul Leon, but everyone's probably forgotten about that book since I don't even remember it practically. Okay, anything from DC anymore? Detective Comics 1016. I think the Freeze storyline's been pretty good. Mrs. Freeze. So that's probably worth picking up. She's on the cover. About to slam an ice chainsaw into the Batman. How would an ice chainsaw work anyways? I don't know. At least it looks like it's an ice chainsaw. I don't know. Cool cover. I definitely like that A cover better than the B cover. The B cover's not bad. Carrie Andrews usually does nice covers, but I don't know. I just think the A cover's just more action, just better looking cover. They're both nice, but I think the A is the way to go on that one. Let's see. Is there anything else? Not been collecting Flash. Oh, yeah. John Constantine Hellblazer #1. You've got a cool cover by John Paul Leon. Maybe he wasn't coming out with Creature of the Night because he was too busy doing the covers for Hellblazer. I don't know what the story is there, but the other cover's nice too. Charlie Adlar, that's artist from Walking Dead. That's kind of a cool cover. So I think both covers are nice. Pick the one that you like. There's also a blank cover. I probably wouldn't buy that. Justice League Dark #17. Got a couple covers. So this is an example of the Clayton Crane I don't care for. I don't like his up-close, non-detailed. I mean, most people wouldn't know this is Crane. This doesn't look like Crane. Crane draws smaller, a lot more detailed, complex, typical covers. I don't like this style. I mean, I guess he's trying to branch out into different styles, but I don't care for this Clayton Crane at all. If you want to see Clayton Crane's best stuff, go look at Carnage, the Carnage series, USA, and I think just the first volume of Carnage that he did. Also, Ghost Rider, Trail of Tears. That one, just fantastic artwork. That's the Clayton Crane I like. I don't like this Clayton Crane artwork here, so not a fan of that at all. A cover, I would go with the A cover by Segovia. It's a nice acetate cover. Just cooler looking. I don't know what's going on with Justice League Dark. I've not been collecting it consistently, but this is a tie-in to the Year of the Villains, so that might be worth grabbing. Let's see, Last God #2. Thank God there's only one cover. That saves me a little bit of money. Nice Federici artwork, cover and interiors. It's worth buying it for the artwork. The story of issue #1 I thought was pretty good, not bad. I think Conan the Barbarian, same style, I think is better. I've been really liking Jason Aaron's run on Conan, which is, of course, Marvel, not DC. But, it's the same fantasy style as Last God. The writing on Last God is not quite as good as what I'm reading on Conan, but the artwork is fantastic. So it's absolutely worth buying if you enjoy really, really good artwork. So that's my opinion on that. Worth picking up, in my opinion. Nice cover by Middleton on the Martian Manhunter. I think a lot of us kind of miss him doing females, so I don't know when he'll be back to doing Batgirl covers. But we'll have to see. I did not notice him doing a lot of other covers in solicitations for January, so I think he's just been doing Martian Manhunter, as far as I know. Okay, let's move on. Shazam, man, it's taken forever for Shazam to come out with a book. I don't know what's going on with Jeff Johns, but sorry about that, guys. I don't know, my phone flipped out. It just it paused for some reason. I have no idea what happened there. So technical difficulties. As I was saying, Shazam. I don't know what Jeff Johns has been doing, but obviously he stretched himself too thin. I think he's damaging his career, to be honest. All I know is if I was a DC editor, I probably wouldn't hire him for my next project. I don't know. I don't know if it was him or the artist. I'm assuming it's the writer. You can get anybody to do artwork quickly, but the writing sometimes is the culprit. So I don't know. If I was DC, I think I would be firing him. That's my opinion. Supergirl Annual #2. I don't believe this is the first appearance of the Supergirl Who Laughs. I think that just came out in the Supergirl book that just dropped this week. But this is probably second appearance. I don't know. I don't know if this is worth picking up or not. I've not really been a fan of Supergirl, so I probably will pass on that. All right. Let's move down the list here. I think we're done with DC finally. Dynamite Entertainment. I didn't see anything there that was worth mentioning. Gonna pass on all of that. IDW. Again, I don't think there was anything there that I felt was really worth grabbing. I'm gonna pass on all that stuff. Image. Usually there's at least one Image book, one or two. Philadelphia #1. I definitely think that's worth grabbing. I did pick up the Matina cover. There was a Virgin Matina cover that was offered through several stores, limited to only 500. It was only $20. And you've got this incentive one here. It's a Black Friday variant cover. So this is going to be available one per store, is what I've heard. And initially they said it was 1 in 25, but I believe most stores weren't going to order 25 copies. So I've heard that at least every comic book store that puts an order of Philadelphia in will get one copy. So I don't know. What's more scarce? This Friday variant cover, which is I would say it's a minimal trade dress, right? You've got the title down here at the bottom. You got some stuff at the top. The one I'm getting is a pure virgin variant, and there was only 500 produced, and I believe it is sold out. There were several websites that were selling it. I don't know. I'd rather pay $20 for the same cover, have it be virgin, and a lower print run than pay $63 for the same thing. And I don't believe you can make the argument that this cover, this B cover incentive cover, is going to be less scarce than the one I bought for $20. That's only limited to 500 copies. There's way more stores out there than 500. There's probably at least, what, in the North America? I mean, we're just counting North America. I don't even know if that includes international, but North America, there's at least, what, 2,000 to 3,000 stores? So this variant is not going to be that scarce. It is sold out on Midtown already, but I'm telling you guys, if it's one per store, so any store that placed an order gets at least one of these variants, it's not going to be that limited. Not near as limited as the one I bought, which is only 500 copies. So that's my opinion on that. Lazarus Risen #3. You want to read a really, really great book with fantastic artwork, you got to pick up Lazarus. I've been touting this book since its beginning. It's been out since, what, 2010? 2011? I mean, it's been out a while. So they had a full run. It went to, I'm going to say 20-some issues, 28 issues, the first series, the volume 1, basically. And then this is the second volume. Actually, take that back. This is probably the third volume, because then there was a Lazarus mini-series. It was like I think it was a 4 or 5 issue series. Just a great read. Greg Rucka's best work, in my opinion, is Lazarus. That and Old Guard. I think those are his 2 best written titles that he's done in 20 years. But it's amazing that there's nobody really collecting this. I talk to people all the time that haven't heard of the book. So I know Silver Age Dave and I complain about that a lot. They're like, this book is fantastic. And yeah, no one really pays attention to it. There's been rumors that it was going to get developed into a TV show. I think it'd be a perfect Netflix show. It would be an awesome Netflix show. So I don't know if that'll ever happen. So far, it hasn't, and maybe that's why the price is so low. Not too sure. All right, moving down the list here. You've got some some signed stuff from Undiscovered Country. I'm going to pass on all that. I think that's it for Image. Marvel. I've not been collecting Avengers. I know some people are telling me I'm missing out. I think if I was going to grab a cover, this is a nice looking, cool design cover. Star brand variant, $51. Oh man, I like it, but I don't know if I like it that much. $51? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool, but $51? I don't think it's that good. Oh boy, so I will probably pass on that. I'm not collecting any of these 2099 series. I just think they're garbage, in my opinion. Marvel's got some good books out there, but a lot of their stuff's garbage. A good deal of it is. So let me see. I'm not picking up most of it. I'm not getting hardly anything from Marvel next week. I didn't pre-order any of this stuff. Probably the only thing I'm getting is this Uncanny X-Men 266 facsimile edition. That's when you know there's a problem in the comic book industry. The facsimile editions, I kid you not, have better sales than most of the comic books. That tells you there's a problem in the comic book industry. That should never be. This is a reprint. This is a second printing of a great book, no doubt about it. First full appearance of Gambit. It's a cool book. Chris Claremont in his glory. Great book. But the fact that it's a reprint and it's outselling all these other titles, I would say easily outsells all these titles. No problem. It outsells all of them. First of all, I can tell you it's the only one I'm picking up from all of Marvel next week. I'm just not into most of these titles. Okay, Venom, I'll pick up Venom. That's probably the only other title besides that reprint. So Venom 20, I have that on my pull list. I'll be grabbing that. Other than that, that's probably it. X-Force, I mean, I love me some Zafino, so I do like that cover, but man, 21 bucks. I don't know if X-Force is really worth buying. I need to read it first, but I didn't like Marauders that much. I didn't like Excalibur at all. I liked the regular X-Men title by Hickman. I think that was decent. But for the most part, I'm not really into a lot of these X titles. I don't think they're doing that well either. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, guys. I guess you'll tell me in the comments if I'm way off base. But I do love Zafino. But, lately I've found if I'm patient, I don't buy these 1 in 25 variants for that price. And then I wait a week or two, and I can pick it up for about $15 on eBay. So I might buy this cover, but I'm not going to pay 21. I will bet you I can pick this up for about 15 bucks. Unless there's some major thing going on in this issue, first major appearance of some major character or something like that, I bet this will be a $15 book in a couple weeks. So I think it pays to be patient there. Yondu #2. I do like this cover by Alex Garner, but again, it's a $25 book. I would imagine this will be fairly scarce because I don't know a lot of shops that would order 25 copies of the A cover to get one copy of these, to get one copy of this issue. So that, if you want a spec, that might be a good spec. Would be something obscure, like don't do it on a Venom or an X-Force because they're just going to, there's going to be a lot of shops that order a ton of that. But how many shops do you think are going to order Yondu #2? Probably not very many. That's why some of those incentive covers of Squirrel Girl and Captain Marvel do really well because the shops are not buying enough A covers to even get them. So of course they're really scarce, unless of course Marvel years later releases a bunch, which I've talked to LCS shop owners that have told me that they think that absolutely happens. That Marvel will release limited covers down the road like a year or two later thinking no one will notice. But that's a conversation for another video. But Yondu #2 incentive cover, I think that could be a good spec play just because there's not going to be a lot of people buying issue #2. All right, I think that's it from Marvel. Moving on to Independence. Weren't too many. Folklords #1, second printing. That is going to be by Jorge Corona. He is the gentleman that does all the artwork for Middle West, so I am picking this up. I think that will... I love the artwork, so that's one of the reasons. Printing should be a little lower. I don't know if it'll be that low, but I think it's worth picking up that second printing just for the artwork cover by Corona. Let's see, what else here? Don't know anything about this Last Stop #1, Scout Comics, but usually their print run's fairly low. That may be worth flipping through at your shop to see if it's any good. That could be worthwhile. Leave the Light On is a book that a lot of people, there was some buzz about it. They said the artwork it's kind of a disturbing book. So if you're into disturbing horror type books, that might be for you. But there's probably going to be some spec on that. I would imagine this Virgin foil will probably sell out for $8. That seems pretty reasonable. Let's see what else we got here. Misplaced, Source Point Press. So this might be a worthwhile endeavor. Kind of a cool looking cover. Art by and written by Chris Callahan. It's a 4-issue supernatural mystery miniseries that will leave you questioning the very existence of existence. What if paradise wasn't all it seemed? A tragic journey to the new world. Two souls separated by death after a fatal shipwreck. James finds himself dissatisfied with the tedious machinations of eternity in the afterlife. That sounds like a little out there, but... kind of a nice looking cover, and that probably will be a pretty low print run, so you may want to, that might be worth grabbing. Sorry, guys. I forgot. Every time I do this with Midtown, I have to go back. God. They, all right, I think I caught up, right? Yeah, misplaced. All right. Money Shot, they're doing second printings. I know there was a little heat on that. I do like Vault Comics. Some of their books are really good. I didn't pick up Money Shot. It just, the premise sounded a little too strange to me, but I know there's some people that liked it, so that might be worth grabbing. Ogres #1, another low print Source Point Press book. I did collect the first series of Ogres. It was a hot book when it came out, and then of course it died down, and you could buy issue #1 now for cover price all day long. So I don't know. Some of these Source Point Press books do well initially, and then if you wait a few months, you can find them sometimes in dollar bins or definitely for cover price. So I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on it. I did collect the first series and thought it was a good story, decent story, but I don't know. I think it's done. I just don't think it's worth picking up anymore. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see. Plot #3. Plot's been a really good book. One of the best books by Vault Comics. I'd say Heathen, Plot, and These Savage Shores are 3 of the best books that they're producing. At least my favorite, and this is definitely a book that I've got on my pull list. Psycho List #4, probably the only book I'm buying from Black Box Comics. Just been a great read. Very low print run. I mean, I'm talking 1,000, 2,000 copies per print run, so it's pretty low. That is worth grabbing, in my opinion. Relics of Youth #3. I did pick up the first issue. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if I'm going to pick that up. I need to read. I need to catch up on my reading. Rick and Morty. I'm so glad Rick and Morty's back on the air with season 4. It's more demented and confusing as ever. I actually need to watch those episodes a couple times because there's so much stuff going on in them. It's a little hard to follow sometimes, but hilarious. Might be it, guys. Wolvenheart #2, that might be worth grabbing. The first issue I thought was pretty good. Mad Cave Studios, again, very, very low print runs typically. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I had for next Wednesday, the books that are coming out. I know this video is long. I had a little interruption there, so appreciate everybody sticking through to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this list. Maybe there were some books on there that I should have highlighted that I didn't. Let me know that in the comments, guys, and look for my next video on Friday. All right, have a good evening.